Thank you, Excellency. Farah London here, and I've come from the United Kingdom today. And the Honourable Gentleman brought up a very important point earlier about disabilities. And we have a big problem with learning disabilities and not being recognised early enough in schools. In the UK, we do tests for hearing and speech, but many children suffer with other learning disabilities, such as dyslexia. Now, as this isn't recognised, they then go on to suffer in the classroom, they fall behind, they then become troubled children. And this is where we fail them, because then they get expelled. And once they're expelled, there is no system to ensure that these vulnerable children are protected. And unfortunately, they become groomed by gangs. And once that happens, it leads to criminality and knife crime. When a child can take the life of another child, it means they feel their life has no value. I personally have mentored kids in gangs, and I have seen through the power of education where they have changed their lives, where they have gone on to higher education, and most importantly, have become entrepreneurs, contributing back to society. And that, my colleagues, is the power of education.
Thank you very much. I now give the floor. The next speaker is Ms. Sitara Broy Akbar, followed by Pilares de una Sociedad project from Central University of Venezuela. Ms. Sitara, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Excellencies and distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. When a child loses a school, they don't just lose their classrooms, they're at risk of losing their dreams. As a non-conventional learner from a small town in Pakistan, I have known some of these struggles myself. After having to leave school at 8 and in absence of traditional schooling, I pursued an alternative accelerated path towards education, completing my IGCSEs, equivalent to high school at 11 and A-levels at 13, later going on to pursue my postgraduate studies at Oxford University. I was lucky to have support in pursuit of my dreams. Many are not. Children living in conflict zones often have to follow diverse pathways in the absence of formal education, and I have personally known and mentored hundreds of such children who pursue their love for knowledge even in the absence of a classroom. It is important that we both celebrate their success and eliminate common barriers. Some children who grow up in conflict zones lack identity documents, which is used as a reason to prevent them from taking school leaving exams under current regulations. Others struggle with affording the steep exam fees. Even when they overcome countless challenges, some governments still refuse to recognize their qualifications, simply because they came through alternative pathways, despite being examined by the same bodies, to the same material, to the same standards. Such difficulties are the stories of millions around the world. We must consider these unique struggles of children in conflicts when we design our support, to understand, empower, and support them. They are symbols of hope, so we must ensure their rights, their freedom to learn, to dream, and to begin again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sitara. Gracias.
Thank you.
Floor to DMUN Foundation, followed by the Diaspora Policy Interaction. DMUN Foundation, please take the floor.
Excellencies, distinguished colleagues and friends. My name is Pranav Sashkumar. I'm 19 years old, and I serve as a representative of the DMUN Foundation. I speak on behalf of over 10,000 youth organizations across the globe. We believe to achieve an equal access to education, we must strengthen the technology, finance, education nexus through blended institutional platforms. Around the world, millions of schools remain offline, underpowered and underserved, while others experiment with artificial intelligence and next-generation learning tools. This is no longer just a digital divide, it is a divide of opportunity. A divide that risks determining who does and does not participate in tomorrow's economy. We call for states to meaningfully include youth voices in national implementation of SDG 4. Youth are the most direct gateway to understanding the lived experiences of education policies around the world. Their insight reveals how classrooms truly function, where policies fall short, and what inclusion must look like in practice. We must look beyond youth as merely a vulnerable group and instead recognize them as ambition raisers who bring new perspectives, knowledge, and innovative solutions. The youth demand inclusive, collaborative, and youth-led action to bring Agenda 2030 to fruition. We are not only the future, we are also the present. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next speaker is Diaspora Policy Interaction, followed by Gregory O'Day Water Foundation. Diaspora Policy Interaction, please take the floor.
Thank you, Chair. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Afia Mansoor Ahmed and I'm from Germany. We know that only global action grounded on shared knowledge can overcome the crisis of our time. Every crisis, whether economic, social, environmental, or born of conflict, has a global impact. To respond, we need global knowledge translated into local coordinated action. But let's be honest, purely Eurocentric paradigms will not be enough. We are moving towards a systematic tipping points in our climate, in our societies, in our democracies, thresholds that once crossed trigger reversible change. So as a Kashmiri Muslim, I grew up hearing, Khud Mukhtari hai jaan se pyari. Freedom is dearer than life itself. That same spirit of freedom must also guide our pursuit of knowledge, freedom from intellectual hierarchies, from exclusion, from the idea that only one world view defines what is true. Technologies and science shape our future, but without empathy, social responsibility, and global justice, they fall short. Knowledge from the global south, from indigenous communities, is not an alternative, it is essential. If we truly want to achieve SDGs, we must create global SDK, sustainable development knowledge, where every community contributes its wisdom to safeguard our shared humanity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next Ciudadana Suiza. Nebriyaman Student Association, you have the floor.
Thank you for the floor, Madam Co-Chair. As a student association, we deeply believe that education must evolve alongside our societies. Modernizing education is not only about technology or new methods. It's about empowering young people with the knowledge that shapes their identity and their role in the world. We believe that understanding our cultural and human rights is essential. Therefore, taking advantage of the presence of various delegations and NGOs, we would like to recommend the creation of a school subject dedicated to promote the knowledge of these rights. If young people are not aware of their rights, those rights lose the relevance they deserve. We are aware that implementing such a measure may face economic and structural challenges. Yet, we are convinced that investing in informed and conscientious youth is one of the most powerful investments a society can make. Because an informed generation is a generation capable of building a better future. Thank you.
Thank you very much.